itself, right?
Yeah, not yet.
Right.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are open.
Okay, so now we're live.
Got it. Are open to maybe providing content that we would host on your behalf. So if and when Matt becomes available, I'll throw the same ideas at him. And who else besides Matt and you?
Jay. Jay,
yes, of course, Jay. Right, Jay is busy, but Jay said he's interested, so I'll follow up with him later. So between the three of you, at some point in the near future, if you have stuff that you want to have physically hosted on the internet, now there's a place for it to go. And I want to sort of offer that to other people who, have cool draft stuff, and they don't have a place for it to reside, in terms of an actual place that's hosting it. And then last but not least, my hope is that we can revive this other cool thing we used to do on Kansas Draft Services called GAP, which stood for the Guru Accountability Project. We would take draft gurus, the Kuipers and the Todd McShays and the whoever you want to think of, and sort of look at their, longitudinally over a certain number of years and see, who actually is accurate, whose assessments of players. Now, this is where your boy Matt Miller would be getting his ass beat, unfortunately. His actual like, sort of player evaluations, not always the sharpest, but once again, he knew how to like make it digestible. That was what he was really great at. But so the sort of accountability project or whatever we decide to call it would sort of, look back a certain number of years at what everybody said about certain players over time, and we can get an idea of who's hitting and who's missing, right? And then I think Jim Wickens and I will sort of talk about if they want to contribute, because that's what Draft Professors does. They're just an aggregator, basically, of taking a bunch of people's mock drafts and feeding them into a machine and trying to figure out, once again, where everybody is. I don't want to make our focus mocks specific. I mean, I think we can discuss mock drafting, but there's so many people doing that now. I want to focus on, I guess, real draft or whatever, like what we think will actually happen in the actual draft, and then what we think of the players that will be in that draft. That's where I'll land my plane at the moment. So Jordan, let me know what you think, and then let me know maybe when you would like to follow up with you and Jay and Matt.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to ask Jay and Matt from their side. I have a little bit more free time than they do right now. But in terms of just in general, I mean, I'm always intrigued, right? Like the reason I do a spreadsheet every single year is so I can see what body types is working and what's not. And also, even for the flip side of that, I know you used to give me pointers on it, but I love looking at it myself for like, I think we're at 5 years now of stuff I have in terms of spreadsheets. I'd have to look back at it, but I'm pretty sure we're up to 5. But like being able to see what teams do, right? And it's like what body types they look for. What does mid-round pick they took in the 4th round look like mid-round pick in the 2nd round they took 3 years ago? And essentially that's like always something I'm interested in, is seeing the traits that each team individually does versus like what fans think, right? Because like that's the ultimate idea for me. Is like my joke's always been I need to figure out what the Raiders are doing in a draft, and that's the whole reason I do all of this, is to figure out what the Raiders are doing individually.
Well, we used to joke, and shout out to my friend Kentley Platt. We used to joke that what the Colts would do is they would look at the RAS scores that came out, right? And then stack them by position, and then see who's at the top of each position and try to draft that guy, right? We used to joke, Julius Brents is the highest ranked of all the cornerbacks on RAS. Well, come on down, right? So, and it actually has held up pretty good. Like, it's not every single player they draft, but it's 70-something% of the guys they drafted are like 9.5 and above on RAS, right? I mean, they have a lot of 9.4, 9.5, 9.7, 9.9, guys on that team. There are teams that clearly have a drafting personality. And maybe if I do write articles, I'll keep them short, but it might be about that. Learning your team's drafting personality, right? And the joke, obviously, was the Raiders would just, 40 times was all they needed, right? Now, obviously, there was more to it than that.
Are you guys saying this is consistent regardless of the coach of the team.
Yeah,
Well-
that's what changes over time.
Yeah.
But it's like basically being able to see what GM looks at what, what coaching staffs look at what. Like, what are the fits that have worked for them in the past? What are the fits that haven't worked for them in the past?
I asked because I remember this was 1978, and I happened to get on a plane, and a guy named Lou Erber was my seatmate. Lou Erber was a Raider coach and scout, and at that time I was a kid. I just met Otis Sister, and I was friends with him, and so the whole all this was new. I was, frankly speaking, not even interested in pro football until I discovered a guy named Tom Landry that was applying engineering theory to the development of the flex defense, and just a whole different way of thinking about football that involved feedback control theory. So, I'm picking up all this, and I'm listening to Lou, and he pulls out this book on the plane. And the book is a picture of ideal Raiders like Phil Villapiano. And so that's how they looked at the keep in mind, this is 1978, right? This is before computerized scouting was a thing, right, but not so much it was widespread. It was primarily with the Cowboys, the Bicycle V scouting group, and that sort of thing. But still, it was very much kind of, angels and devils on your shoulders, which some people would argue still is the case today. But my point is that the Raiders had a DNA because of Al Davis, right? And John Madden, but really the Raider mystique of having, or not the mystique, the Raider objective of having the fastest players you get your hands on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that really started with Al Davis even before John Madden, because John Ross was the coach, and the Raiders had that win. That's why I'm asking, and the other thing that's at the back of my mind is, Jordan, you ever follow the Big Data Bowl?
The Data Bowl? I remember it slightly. I was never involved too much. I was a little too young when it was happening.
Oh, the Big Data Bowl, that was a current thing with the NFL.
Oh, we're talking about
yeah. And I started covering it back in 2019.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about something else.
Yeah. Oh, right on. Yeah, and I thought, this. You got the Big Data Bowl over here, and people coming up with these data modeling sets, right? And then you've got you all interested in pattern modeling based on the teams doing everything. And then you've got the teams themselves and the NFL front office and the media. And it seems like between all the groups, there's no meeting of the minds to say, hey, let's find out what kind of analytical product we can produce that answers our different questions. It seems like, and here's why I say that in particular, so it's what I mean. Maybe if I give this answer, it might better demonstrate why I think there's certain chaos out there. The first time in Big Data Bowl history, these winners are all from either China, and they have no knowledge of football other than what was given to them in the question. All right, that's it. They, however, are master data modelers. They are what Tago calls brand masters. All right.
Oh, Zenny, can you check to see if there's someone in the waiting room? I think Greg might be in the waiting room.
Yeah, there is. There are. Yep. Yeah. Scroll down a bit and get this person.
Welcome in waiting room.
We
got it for a second.
Now we have him. Hey, how you doing?
Hey, there we are. Hey, Zenny.
Hey, sorry about that, sir. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm doing all right.
I barely recognized your head, and by the grace of God, Bill recognized that there was somebody underwater. I had to pull him up.
Thought he was the Golden Domer for a second.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Absolutely right. Well, yeah.
Hey, it's got the Fighting Irish in my background, so
Yeah. So anyway, to finish my thought really quickly was that I thought the Big Data Bowl was for American high school colleges because when I covered it, 2 times I interviewed students on my YouTube up here. They were from what? Amherst, Harvard, Providence. You get the idea, right? Now it's suddenly these guys that are not from college, they're not from here. They live in Beijing, or they live in Wuhan, or they live in Japan, and they are data modelers by trade.
Right.
They may even wind up. They may even work for an intelligence organization. Who knows, right? My thought is, it's kind of far. This is why I think the NFL needs to have discussion about where it's going with all this
It,
data, because someone's going to use that data. The NFL is not controlling it. Just that data is going to wind up in some kind of product that nobody expected, and somebody's going to be upset about it. I don't know who.
right.
Like, I have an idea. I have a lot of ideas though. So that's why I make the point about I'm interested. You're talking about you're interested in the teams, but what bothers me is that there's all this data coming around. Everybody's doing the data, but what do we?
Yeah. So what you're describing is sort of like going to an audition for, The Voice or America's Got Talent or something. And on one side of you is Lizzo, and the other side of you is Adele. Like, wait a second, hold on. Wait. I thought this is people trying to get their big break. Like, what's happening? Yeah. No, I agree with what you're stating there.
Yeah.
Oh, to catch Greg up. Zinni is creating and we are in the process of creating and hosting a place for people to toss their draft rankings. And my idea is for it eventually, there it is, for it to become a historic repository where we can look in real-ish time, I guess, over time, at our rankings, other people's rankings, and since we have Draft Jesus here, who may also bless us with the holy spreadsheet, also the actual height, weight, arm length, hand size, etc. data, to get an idea of how much it actually matters towards the success of prospects. So my goal is to build, and at some point I'm going to try to sort of draw in my friend James Coburn, who I call he calls himself Geometrics. I guess I call him Geometrics as well, who has, data on some positions going back to 1958. On quarterbacks, he has a data set that dates back to 1958. Yep. So if you want to see, how Don Meredith was doing at SMU as he stacked up against the other guys from his era, Jim Coburn has the answer. But
Mr. Meredith stacked up quite well, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Well, his coach, a man named Bill Meeks, who you may be familiar with, okay, was one of the when people say nothing is new, if you were to look at some of the stuff he was doing, you might not think it's now, but you would think it was the 1990s. I mean, he was way ahead of his time.
Oh, absolutely.
And in fact, one of my dream books, when I am, independently wealthy or whatever it is, or independently bored and have enough free time, is to write a book called, the story of football in 11 playbooks. And that SMU playbook from like 57, 58, 59, that period would be one of those playbooks. And, going back to Dutch Meyer back at TCU when he had Sammy Baugh, Little Davey O'Brien, and, Ant Russell, and obviously, Tiger Ellison / Mouse Davis's Run and Shoot would be on that. And then the original Bill Yeoman, Wishbone would be one of the ones that would be on that list.
Don Coryell was not the first guy to go airborne.
Yes, exactly. I've tried to get together the 11, and obviously I have to have, I have to toss in there probably, some Tubby Raymond or even maybe pre-Tubby Raymond wing T stuff.
Yeah.
I guess Don Farrow is considered usually the father of wing T. And then who am I forgetting?
Charles Shaughnessy?
Yeah. I mean, there's a few people. Sid Gilman, duh.
Yeah.
Sid Gilman,
yeah. And obviously, I mean, you'd be, pilloried if you didn't have a Bill Walsh thing in there. But I'm also want to give love to sort of co-equal love to what Doug Scoville and Norm Chow were developing, sort of parallel at the same, almost at exactly the same time, I don't know if they were corresponding with each other or what, but like so much of what they did was so similar that I have to believe they must have either they had shared these ideas with each other, or they just, as I say, great minds think alike.
Well, don't forget Lavelle Edwards.
Well, Lavelle Edwards was a wishbone guy.
Yeah.
And it was actually Doug Scoville and Norm Chow that talked him out of it, which is why Virgil Carter was a wishbone quarterback. When he becomes the first West Coast offense quarterback, he run the wishbone at BYU. And so when Homer Rice. Homer Rice was the quarterback's coach, and Bill Walsh, who was the offensive coordinator, sort of put together what we now call the West Coast offense. It was to take advantage of the fact that Virgil Carter, though he didn't have a very strong arm and was not actually not a very good passer even, but he had quick feet, he saw things quickly, and a quick release. And so they took advantage of the things he could do well as a passer and tried to sort of gloss over the things he could not do well, because obviously, Greg Cook was this.
Yeah, they schemed around it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
Bill, I call it the Bill Walsh offense.
Yes, that's probably the best thing to call it, but
I know it as.
But I want to give love to Doug Scoville and Norm Chow, who were apparently thinking a lot of the same things at about the same time when they talked. Because once again, they had to go in there and convince Lavelle Edwards to junk this fairly successful offense they had. I mean, they'd won games with the wishbone. They'd done okay with the wishbone, and it allowed them to work around the fact that they didn't have, the biggest guys in the world at certain positions. And they had to sort of talk him into, hey, let's throw the ball, that way. let's start, doing it this way. And then once they had actual success with it, he was fully on board. And they had this, incredible run of quarterbacks who at least suited up. Some of them didn't become great NFL quarterbacks, but virtually every BYU quarterback who at least started for, 2 seasons, at least collected some game checks in the NFL for about 17, 18 years in a row. There was a BYU quarterback coming out.
Talking about play sets, though, Bill, and or are we? I want to make sure I'm thinking about that, right? We're talking about play sets for data.
Well, I mean, that was like the book I want to write someday when I have like time and don't need to earn money. But just sort of telling the story of offensive football in 11 playbooks. But in terms of the website, that would be something that's like a vanity project. Yeah. The website I want it to be lean and mean, right? Like I said, people's rankings, maybe the occasional thumbnail sketch of a player, perhaps even some short clips of interviews with players, and what else? Not much else. I mean, and maybe like a little debate. Since people love the debate format, but it'd be, respectful and fact-based as opposed to hot takey. I know people love a hot take. It's not my thing. But if somebody wants to debate, let's say 2 wide receivers who are in this class who are sort of similar-ish.
Makai Lemon versus anyone, baby.
There you go. It's a perfect.
Well, whatever. Elijah Surratt is still the most NFL ready to go guy in this draft.
Bro,
Surratt is the most capable guy who's going to start as a wide receiver 2 in the NFL.
And he blocks.
He does everything.
Yeah, he's essentially a poor man's Eric Decker. Not even a poor man's. He's a blue-collar man's Eric Decker. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I saw today. It was crazy. I could not believe it. Some people were doing like a 32 mock draft with like players.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And they took him at 8. Yeah, I was like, bro, what?
No, he's not going 8. I mean, there's no way. Because, of course, Tyson and Lemon have the names that basically – All the ESPN guys are all following Lemon and Tyson and da. But
can we start calling Makai Lemon Little Citrus?
Well, we might call him. We might call him Little Citrus, but
oh, guys, something on this note. Something I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top first-round pick lists from different sources, post those, and say, hey, here's what CBS is saying, and so on, right? And that way, The idea is to have a repository.
Yeah. So
like a Delphi technique, right?
So that goes back to the sort of gap, the Guru Accountability Project, where we sort of hold people's people write these very bold. Tony Pauline is great for this, right? These very bold pronouncements, and you look back in time and you look at some of these, the person who told you that Matt Corral was going to be, the best quarterback out of a certain class or things like that, right? Once again, I get.
You mean like my Brock Purdy was actually an excellent pick for the 49ers?
Well, the Brock Purdy one, and shout out to you for that, and shout out to my friend Will. I
wish I could go back in time and show everybody, because this was before I was doing everything on Twitter regularly. This was just my regular free time. I had Jordan Love in my first round mock draft of the Packers, and I just shared it with my friends. Yeah. I would argue all day about it.
Hey, that brings me to a question. Would it be helpful then to have in the website itself embedded here a kind of a Twitter stream?
Oh, I mean, that could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely engineer one so that people can follow what's being said on Twitter. And the idea is to have this as sort of a repository of information, that literally rolls because of its design.
Right. Well, especially if it could be done in such a way that maybe there's like a bot or something that like looks for anything that has to do with the NFL draft being mentioned on. I guess whatever form of social media.
That's exactly what I'm. Yeah,
in fact, that would make sense.
What's going to go here, and I already I've done it on my other sites. Is if there's a YouTube video that has in its title NFL Draft Rankings, it gets automatically grabbed and made into a blog post of its own and installed. And so I have some of that, like a model of what it looks like. I have a number of websites that do that.
Before I forget, Greg, Jim Wickens wants to know if you want to do the Cowboys for.
I've already spoken with Jim.
Oh, you've already spoken. Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a. What is that? His 5 round thing, right?
Is that tomorrow?
No, I'm going to be doing that on the February 1st, I think.
You messaged me about doing something tomorrow, and I was like, let me get back to you.
February 28th.
February 28th. Yeah, end of the month. Yeah. That's right.
I was gonna say because I was gonna. He messaged me about something for tomorrow earlier, and I was like, I'll get back to you because I had to figure out when we were doing the Michael Pierce video. I actually went from that to this like right away. Yeah. So it took me a second.
So yeah, the blue and silver breakdown will be doing his Mockapalooza verse type thing too.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So
but again, I need to have a trade down for the Cowboys at pick 12 or 20. I don't care which pick, but because I need second and third round guys to talk about.
You do.
Right.
And in this linebacker rich environment, this is a really good draft to have a second round or two draft pick to take advantage of. Yeah. So I would advise you, yes, to try to see if maybe there's an offensive tackle or something that's
if Caleb Downs keeps falling down to 12, which he is in the mocks for the last 10 days now. I'm like, I don't understand this, but okay, he's my guy.
Right. Well, it's a combination of things. It's the fact that he is a safety, and I think people don't think he's now. Of course, this could change, but people don't think he's going to, test as an elite level or even, even well above average athlete.
And what do I always say about what do I always say about these tests? I could care less.
Well, I know you don't care.
I watch the tape.
But there are teams, right? There are teams that have strict height, weight, speed, whatever parameters.
All BS. Which you also hear me say all the time. Like Will Campbell, until he got that injury, was just fine at left tackle this year.
He was doing okay. You're right.
Yeah, he was doing just fine. When he got that injury,
unfortunately, the whole world saw him have his worst game of the season.
Bingo, right?
Worst time.
But and it's like Keldrick Falk this year. everybody's saying the guy can't put any pressure on a quarterback. I'm going,
No.
did you not see him as a junior? Hello.
Right. Well, I think it's a combination of things with Kendrick Falk. He definitely runs hot and cold, but the best Kendrick Falk tape is right there with whoever, right? Whoever you want to stack up. He's right there. The problem is you don't always get the best Kendrick Falk.
No, but again, this goes to the same reason why Zakee Wheatley is being discussed as a good safety in that. But then there was what Randall said was a concern that he had, right? And I think that just comes from the coaching of the Nittany Lions.
I think coaching is a part of it. I think that when a player's habits are every player has a way they like to play, right? They have a favorite way of doing things. And what good coaches do is they usually find a way to modify without radically setting the player back in terms of having to, restart.
Trevor Linderbaum is a perfect example of that.
Oh, there's a lot of guys.
You look at what he had to do at Iowa, and his blocking had to change because he became a Baltimore Raven. And oh my, yeah, he's just fine.
Yep.
And all those guys in the Mockapalooza were saying no, he can't go there. Da da da. I said BS.
Wait, what? With Kyle Hamilton?
No. Linderbaum.
Linderbaum. Yeah, first of all, I actually loved Linderbaum. Now, in the interest of full disclosure, I wrestled in high school and in college, so I always loved wrestlers.
Wrestlers, exactly.
And the fact that Tristan Wirfs had one loss in his entire college, high school, his entire high school career, and that one loss was to Linderbaum.
That's right.
So that tells me a lot because, once again, as he has in his entire athletic career, he's had to give up some size to other guys, but he didn't, once again, as Russell Wilson once said in an interview, I didn't just wake up this size. I wasn't 6'3" yesterday. Like, he's been this size. He knows how to play at the size that he is and has mastered to some extent playing the size he is. And everyone's cheap, easy comp for him was of course, Jason Kelce, right? Because wrestling background, highly intellectual, football intellectual player, and quote-unquote undersized, but has figured out how to play at that size. But once again, this is where, Jordan's holy spreadsheet and all these other things will sort of come into play, because when a player has a deficiency, whether it be speed, length, in the case of a guy like Nate Solder, right? He just was not physically very strong. Like, he would still, even late in his career, sometimes got flat out ragdolled by guys, but he got stronger. He was at one point a very tall tight end early in his days at Colorado, and even early in his NFL career, he looked like a tight end playing tackle. And he got, I think it was almost Doomerville gave him a nightmare game early in his career, if I remember correctly. I think it was Doomerville. And it was this literal Mutt and Jeff situation, right? Yeah. You have a pass rusher who's 5'10" and 7/8 or something like that in Elvis Doomerville. And you have an offensive lineman who's 6'8" and a quarter, I think is what Solder came in at. And, once again, arm length, right? Arm length for days. Didn't matter that day, though. With all that length, Nate Solder got put in he was in a torture chamber against Elvis Doomerville in that game. So, leverage, my friends. Leverage very, very much matters. And
Eric Williams versus Reggie White. Eric Williams got burned the very first time against Reggie White because Reggie came inside.
Right.
After that game, it was all Mr. Williams. He would shut down Reggie White because he kept him on the outside shoulder.
Right.
That is coaching. That's coaching.
And there's a short list of people, who can claim they won more than they lost against Reggie White. He's one of those short lists of people. And had Eric Williams not, had this sort of flukish career.
Well, his car accident injury. His car accident just destroyed him.
Right. But if not for that, I mean, the crazy thing is that not a single member of that offensive line, one of the most dominant offensive lines I've ever seen, other than Larry Allen, has made the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
And
Nate Newton, still not there.
Newton's been a semifinalist, but I don't think he's ever been a finalist.
Nope.
Only one of the guys thinks he's been a semifinalist from that group, right? Was it Wisniewski?
It was Newski.
There's always 9 billion linemen waiting though,
which is amazing.
The PF HOF there is the worst organization I've ever seen in my life. When they finally allowed those other veterans in 2020, that needs to happen every damn year. They've got
a real problem, and I'll do a whole other thing. In fact, Greg, you would be great for the Not in the Hall of Fame crew. Actually, they would love you, and I think you would get them. Jerry
Smith, Ken Anderson. Do you
it's a ludicrous list.
Do you know who Jerry Smith is, Jordan?
Yeah, a bit. I know the name, but I'm not back in his tape.
At the time of his retirement, Jerry Smith was the most productive, if you go by pure statistics, tight end in the history of the game at the time they retired. And
he played from 65 to 75, so he didn't get the all-decade team in either decade, right?
Right.
But the big thing against Jerry Smith, he's a gay man. He was gay. Big deal. Who cares? The guy was the most productive tight end in football.
For a decade, basically.
For a decade.
Yeah.
For a decade.
So,
and this is a Cowboys fan who's talking about a dead skin.
Yes, correct. So he unfortunately overlaps. His career is right in as he said, that 65 to 75 block.
Mm-hmm.
The game changes, right? When he enters the league, with 2 or 3 exceptions, tight ends are basically flex tackles, right? Dickett and Mackey, and to a lesser extent, guys like maybe Fred Arbanis and Stu Voigt, were used fairly extensively. And then Pete Retzlaff, who nowadays would be a power slot receiver, were used fairly extensively in the passing game. And that's pretty much the list when he enters the league. And as he's, progressing, more and more real receiving tight ends are entering the league. By the time he ends his career, you've got the late, great J.V. Kane in St. Louis. You've got the very beginnings of Kellen Winslow Sr.'s career. You have Russ Francis in New England, another guy who probably should get a little more consideration for the Hall of Fame. I've put him in my personal Hall of Very Good. Another guy who's entering the league by that point. You've got Jerome Barkham, who nowadays would probably be I don't know. Actually, they might bulk him up and he might stay at tight end. But you had Barkham and who was the other? Rich Castor. You had Jerome Barkham and Rich Castor, who were the first 2 blazing fast tight ends, right? I mean, guys who could just run away from defensive backs in some cases. And not every team figured out how to use them. So you'll look at their career stats. It'll be like 300 yards, 280 yards, and then 700, right? It'll be these weird little peaks and valleys in their careers. But you didn't come here to get a history lesson, Jordan.
In the comments, I just posted a YouTube video that Jeff Barnes and I did. These are the Cowboys that belong in the PFHOF. That's what, and I mean the list is not short. And if Darren Woodson, I don't care. Darren Woodson shut down Jerry Rice. He shut down Jerry Rice, the best receiver
I know.
But Woodson will make it in. I think Woodson will. The one that's still shocking to me is Harvey Martin.
Harvey Martin
is great. I am definitely not a Dallas fan, but the fact that Harvey Martin's not in the Hall of Fame is mind-boggling. He was a top 3 or 4 player at his position for a decade plus.
I'm just trying to get my guy Marshall Yonda in the Hall of Fame, man.
Yes, sir.
We keep adding your people. It's gonna take me a minute. I'll have to wait till I'm all y'all's age.
Oh, you're on mute.
Yeah, you're muted, Zenny. Yeah, you're still muted.
Thank you. Hey, I was about to play the video you posted there, D, but is that of something I should have copyright information on it, or should I post
For,
it? Yeah.
for which?
For the video that you referred to, I thought maybe it'd be fun to see it, but I thought, well, let me ask. Well,
Oh yeah, I mean it's the Blue and Silver Breakdown, which is my show for Team NBS Media.
Oh, your show. Okay, cool. I'll show it.
Right.
Yeah.
So Greg is giving you permission to rebroadcast it. I believe.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool. Well, sometimes YouTube is like algorithm.
You now have express verbal consent.
Yeah, you have
of
verbal
Greg
consent.
Cowboys 1960.
I just wish that YouTube would build into their algorithms the ability to listen. You
I
know,
was literally, it was funny because you brought that up. And it was actually a few years ago that I heard about him the first time because I was like so young, like it was before my time. And I remember I was like looking into like the depths of it. And I was just like, oh my God, it makes no sense he's not here. Like between him and every single guard and wide receiver I yell about every single year. I was just like, man, that's unbelievable.
Well, Roger Craig didn't get in until this year. I mean,
Hey, but thankfully he did.
it's so stupid. It is just so stupid.
Yeah, we've talked about this.
My co-host went on a long rant about it.
You know what, Greg? I'm going to tell the guys from down to reach out to you. You'd be great.
hey Greg, can you send me that video in the private chat because I can't copy and paste it?
Okay.
In the private chat, I will. Oh, by the way, gentlemen, I made a change. If you take a look now, it's the latest post is NFL 2026 draft prospect rankings from CBS Sports. So,
With CBS Sports guy, is it?
So yeah, the link is in the private chat now, Zenny.
Okay, cool, and I'll go get it. Yes. So basically, if you you can see if you go here and you scroll down, right? Well, actually, and you say read more, it's gonna take you to right, and then look at how well it. I mean, this only took a millisecond, but boom, perfect, and you can make comments about it. You can leave comments down here. And,
Who was which CBS writer wrote this one?
Say again, please.
Oh, I just say which CBS writer was this? Because we just had oh God, why am I blanking on his name now? We just had somebody on the show from CBS, Ryan Wilson.
Oh, this is
yeah.
See, this is their draft prospect rankings. You see?
Oh, okay, just the rankings.
Right. Yeah, that's all. The idea basically is to have sort of a Delphi, as I was saying, of information what different people are thinking about. In terms of who is what, who is where.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Greg, by the way.
Not a problem. And these guys who all do these rankings and these mock drafts, especially round one mock drafts, who are all saying the Cowboys need corners. Do you not see the defense that the Eagles ran last year? It was not a nickel. There was not a lot of dime defense run.
Hey man, you got nothing to worry about with me mocking corners because Mansour Delane's going to the Dolphins every single time I have the option to put.
Thank you, or even McCoy. I don't care.
I'm the firm believer of Storm Duck can't be your number one corner ever.
But again, these guys all do the same thing day after day after day. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And again, how Caleb Downs is now falling down to the Cowboys is just beyond me.
That's what my co-host actually has Caleb Downs in his mock draft to him. To the Cowboys.
To the Cowboys?
Yeah, that's what Matt's got.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, by the way, I have your creation, if you will, and I'm going to share. It's an hour, but I'll share it.
Yeah, I mean it's got a lot of players who need to be in there. I mean, Mr. Martin in a 14-game season had 23 sacks, officially known as a full sack. He did that in a 14-game season.
The beautiful Harvey Martin.
Yeah.
He was called.
How was he never put into the Pro Football Hall of Fame? It's beyond me.
Billy Houghton died.
Yep.
I think last year.
And
I've been pushing. I mean, at the time that he retired, he was the all-time leading receiver in both receptions and receiving yardage. And he's never come terribly close to being a Hall of Famer, which is ridiculous and crazy.
Yep.
And he did it with quarterbacks. No offense to Babe Pirelli or Kyle Roach Sr., but he wasn't playing with the creme de la creme I'll put it that way. I think he had 1 year in Cleveland with Frank Ryan, who was a decent quarterback. No, Milt Plum. I think it might have been Milt Plum, actually. But he had 1 year, with an okay, decent quarterback in Cleveland. And then, oh, man, I've written about Jethro Pugh.
Jethro Pugh, another guy who belongs in there.
Yep. Yep.
And he played a lot of D tackle. So
Well,
his numbers
yeah.
even more.
He was
impressive.
he was primarily a DT much more than he ever was playing at end.
Right.
Hey, but
so
riddle me this. How is it
numbers
that?
even more impressive when you take that into account?
Hey, gentlemen, riddle me this. How is it that the MVPs of Super Bowl 12 were Randy White and Harvey Martin?
Well,
Randy White is in the Hall of Fame and Harvey Martin is not.
right.
Well,
exactly.
Randy is a white man, and there you have it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's
There you have it.
you cannot tell me that the racist NFL, who had 10 head coach opportunities this year and not one black man, was no, because apparently a black man has to be absolutely perfect to get a head coaching job in the NFL. It's totally ridiculous.
Hey,
It is completely ridiculous.
yeah. Or hey, take how to be self-serving for a second, how a guy could be the first ever to use a YouTube channel in 2006, go all this time and make all these advancements, and never be recognized. And the NFL turns around and says, "Hey, we're bringing in YouTubers because they have 165 million, followers and different channels," even though they were bought, and the guy they're promoting is a 5-time felon. And yet here I am going to the draft every year, helping reporters now transition to the digital world, and the NFL just basically does this year. I'm like, okay.
Oh, they're completely ridiculous. It's like Team MBS Media tries to get into SEC games. Forget it. You're just destroyed. There's no way you're going to get into any SEC college football games. It's just not happening.
Wow.
It's dumb. It's completely dumb.
Because they're afraid of the Pac-2, baby.
We've got. I mean, the co-host that Bill and I work with on Draft Central, Randall Slifer, lives in Fayetteville. He lives in Fayetteville. He writes about the backs. He loves the baseball team, the basketball teams, football teams.
Oh, Arkansas.
Arkansas. Yeah, he's got all kinds
I'm in Fayetteville, Georgia. That's why I say that.
Ah, okay. But yeah, he's in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and he's written all kinds of stuff. Nope. Really? And we were turned down for the combine as well.
I was turned down. They said, I've had Super Bowl weekend game 12 times.
Yeah.
The 13th time, and they wrote back and said, "Well, you don't have enough video engagement or web engagement." And I said, "Wait a minute, what are you talking about? My company owns 113 websites. Which one? Pick one."
Yeah.
And so then on the combine, they didn't put anything like that, and they just said, "Well, thank you for your application." I have a 20-year track record of being credentialed for the draft every single year, even when I couldn't make it, which is rare, but hey, things happen. But hey, it happens to a lot of people, right? It's pretty hard to find anybody that has my kind of track record all of a sudden this. And I went and I emailed Jeff Hatch, once head of illegal, but when I didn't realize he had retired. This is all very recent. And they hired Ted Uliot, and who's a guy from the legal tech world, not the tech world, but whatever. And I feel like they waited until Jeff retired to start messing. That's what it feels like. I'm thinking, why bother messing with me anyway? Because they hired Visa PR, and Visa PR trying to get control of their YouTube, and here I am standing in the way algorithmically of them. Use NFL Draft, Red Carpet, use vidIQ. This channel's number one, not anybody else. They said, we'll bring in Haley Khalil. She's got 1 million subscribers. It didn't work. They have no idea what they're doing, So my thought is, and I was saying this to Bill, and I think this is a good idea for everybody. I think it's a good idea to pursue. Way back, this is during the 2008 Democratic National Committee, there was a guy named Marcus Matsukas who has the Daily Cost. Anyway, he was really mad that the party didn't invite him to be a vlogger. So what he did was he found a piece of land in Denver, raised a crap ton of money, created something called the Big Tent. Why don't we do that for an NFL draft? You know, I mean, because it'll be our tent. What's stopping us? Nothing. You know, nothing. And it's about time people who would do what we do asserted our power, rather than having these knuckleheads, act like they're God and everything. I'm sorry. Hey, by the way, we got Jesus on our side. Yeah, he's right here. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I mean, it's a thought. It's really a thought, though. I mean, they're models for what I'm talking about. Marcos has them. There are others too, in different areas of life, with respect to getting the word out about what you do and producing news. Why leave it to them? They have no idea what they're doing most of the time. Yet they want to bully you with money. Like, oh, we know because we buy so and so. So what? And but I think what got me was they got running one guy. I'm gonna shut up. I said.
Sorry, I am paying attention. I know it's up on my phone a lot. We just had Michael Pierce on our show, and so he just announced that he's doing his agency. So I was trying to find the website for a second. He's going to start his own agency up with a group. So he's going to basically help out a bunch of athletes who are dealing with NIL, like high school to college and then college to the NFL, just help them get their next step. I just want to make sure I have the website up.
Yeah. Hey, bring him on the show. I'd love to, help him put the word out. There's a whole undercurrent of people doing things that I think if we all teamed up in a certain way, we could really change the game. We have enough. I mean, it takes a platform, and we all have platforms. It takes a platform. But it also takes merging together. Because.
Well, Mr. Bill, I got to say, I enjoyed your linebackers.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh my God, I haven't read your linebackers yet, Bill. Excuse me.
Everyone who hasn't seen it, I will toss it into your links in your DMs, and I'm going to be using your holy spreadsheet to fill out the height, weights, and everything else as they come in.
You're gonna get that coined, aren't you, Bill? People are gonna start calling it the holy spreadsheet now.
Oh, the holy spreadsheet. Yes.
I'm never gonna be able to escape.
That's the holy spreadsheet. So I have to run in a second, but I wanted to leave everyone with a couple of things. Here's a fascinating little factoid. So 27 tight ends have been invited. 21 running backs have been invited to this most recent combine. This is the first year since 2010 that there were more tight ends invited than running backs.
Wow.
So the NFL is saying in no uncertain terms they do not like this running back class very much. Now, I think they're to some extent wrong. While it's not a super, super deep running back class, there are some really good running backs, and some of them aren't the running backs that people keep staring at all the time. And I think no one's so, obsessed with being, controversial or I don't think there's anybody, as much as people like to just zig when everyone's zagging, no one has anybody other than Jeremiah Love, number one. Most people, I think, have Emmett Johnson, number two. A few people have someone else. And no offense to Greg, but I've seen a few people who are, I guess, just obsessed with Notre Dame have Jadarian Price, number two, which, no offense to Jadarian Price. I don't think he's the number two running back in this class.
I had him ranked as number two last night, Mr. Bill.
Oh, did you?
And yes, because of his return game. He is
a very good returner, and I agree. He's going to be a very good returner in the NFL as well.
Oh, hey, by the way, before I forget, I'd like to have all of your emails so I can make portals for you to write if you want to express yourself. Also, I can announce this now, I think. If you've ever heard of D. Orlando Ledbetter,
yes, legendary D. Orlando Ledbetter.
He is going to be an occasional contributor to Zenny 62 Media because he's decided to take the buyout, the Atlantic Journal to Constitution. Yeah, that's what I was getting up with the NFL. I'm saying, hey, look, why are you guys doing this to me when I can name 5 different reporters that I'm responsible for getting online, and in my life, 20, half of them are NFL writers, some retired. So why don't you just let me grow? You're not helping the Washington Post people come and get this. They don't help the Washington Post people come to the draft, but they'll bring 160 YouTubers to the draft. that make any sense?
Yeah, right.
You know? So but we have the vessel to really make some hay. And I'm gonna make some hay.
But yeah, so I have draftable grades.
Jesus willing.
Yes, Jesus willing. I have draftable grades on more running backs that are being invited to this combine. I like this running back group a little bit more. And they have one or two running backs that I think it's, especially in this class, it is a crime that they have not been invited. But look for my next rankings to be about running backs now. That inspired at least in part by the fact that we just recently did that on our last Draft Central, and the fact that only 21 were invited. So that inspired me to start breaking. I've been breaking down running backs the last couple of days. Now try to finish that up, hopefully early next week. But yeah, there he is, Jethro Pugh. Speaking of HBCUs, right?
Yeah.
Elizabeth City State University, the Vikings of ECSU, Jethro Pugh, who's in their Athletic Hall of Fame and the Black College Football Hall of Fame, Jethro Pugh, and he should be in the one in Canton, Ohio, as well.
Folks, I encourage everybody, even if you're not a Cowboy fan, to watch the video. I'm going to watch it tonight because I'm a huge fan of the Cowboys of the 70s. Well, heck, I'm a fan of the Cowboys for a whole host of reasons that I'll explain another time. But I'm also a fan of the Raiders for another different set of reasons, but whatever. In this instance, watch this.
If you guys want to read about the Jerry Smith article that I wrote for teammbsmedia.com as well, go and visit the website, and you'll be able to find the Jerry Smith article I wrote.
Absolutely.
Hey, Greg, can I have you on to talk about the Cowboys?
Sure. When?
This weekend?
Sure.
Awesome. How about Sunday?
Okay.
Yeah, let's send Bill your information.
Yeah, I will help to get that together. But yes, and everyone exchanged everyone's information with everyone else's information. I have to hop off of this in a moment, but I wanted to just mention. Oh, and of course, zero HBCU players invited.
I've been waiting to hear Bill Carroll say it.
There's no Teron Armstead coming this year. There's no Teron. No.
And
again.
And once again, with the state of this running back class, there's at least one, and I could make an argument for two HBCU running backs, but one obvious one, right?
Yep.
One jump right up and slap you in the face one should have been invited. And look for an article on Team MBS Media about my combine snubs very, very soon.
I can't believe Malman didn't get an invite either. Holy Christ!
Wow.
There's a couple of, with the running back class in the state that it is, and with the quarterback class in the state that it is, this would have been the year, in my opinion, once again, to stretch wider the net. Right? There's some Division II and HBCU and FCS guys from the quarterback and the running back group that should have been invited, with the relatively, thin group that came out of the FBS this year.
How does ND State play come Mountain West time? I think they're going to just smoke the daylights out of these guys. They are going to beat up several Mountain West schools.
They're going to do quite well. I think that they'll probably, if you're asking for an early prediction, I think end up like tied third or tied for second, like somewhere in the top three.
Yeah.
I think that speed will be the issue. Not size and power will not be an issue for NDSU. They are going to flat out steamroll some teams.
That's what I'm saying. They are going to smoke on some of these Mountain West teams because of their size.
Oh, hey, gentlemen, quick check. Are we going at the top of the hour?
Yeah, I got to go in a minute. But yeah, I assume everybody else probably has things they need to do. But what I'd like to do is, as we wrap this up in the next few minutes, is sort of put together an after-action report, as we used to call them, Greg, back in the day.
Yeah.
See, I'd love to have you on also as vloggers if you wanted a space to vlog in our style, and you keep 70% of your revenue. Damn glad to have you to alter a phrase from Animal House. And
my email, Zenny.
Yeah,
it's the Great Cowboys 1964 @gmail.com.
Greg.
Well, that's one way of doing
I'll
it.
send it over to Bill. I'm sure he'll
Yeah.
send it.
There we go. There we go.
Well, I'm on that list that Bill sent out.
Hey, Greg, I'll give you a hint of what we're going to talk about because I was such a huge Cowboys fan in the 70s that I was giving the Dallas Cowboys weekly
Yeah.
and sent to California, okay?
Yeah.
And one day, this was in 1979, I had a question regarding the keys for Bob Brunig, the middle linebacker,
Yep.
the Cowboys in the flex
Arizona
defense.
State, I believe.
And that's correct, Arizona State.
Arizona
And
State.
so, to my surprise, I got a form letter written back by Ernie Stautner
Yep.
inviting me to visit the Cowboys offices. And so I'm what?
I went the first time to Dallas, Texas, because my aunt lived in Dallas.
Hold on. So I went to take the letter. I said, Mom, look at this letter. And Mom worked United. And so I flew for the first time by myself. Well, it was the first time by myself, but I flew not seeing a family member, right, by myself to Dallas.
Yeah.
But one day, blue suit, white shirt, red tie. I had a room at the Reunion Hotel, and went in at 8 o'clock in the morning. Went up to the 11th floor of 6116 North Central Expressway.
Mm-hmm.
The carpet was blue with white trim down the way, all the way down. Talk right. Yeah, you can see. And March Kelly was the secretary. Her desk was right here. And I sat down in this chair like this because I was scared. I didn't know what to expect. I was excited and scared. And out of this room over here comes Mike Hegman, Cliff Harris, Randy Hughes. It was a defensive backfield meeting.
Yeah.
And they're looking at me like, and so then Miss Kelly says, hey, Mr. Abraham, come follow me. The conference room was right behind her. It was a big ass conference room.
Oh, yeah.
They had given me 6 reels of film. Dallas defense versus the I formation 1, Dallas defense versus the I formation 2,
Yep.
flex strong quality control, flex weak quality control, Dallas defense reel 1, Dallas defense reel 2. And I started running. They showed me how to run. I didn't know how. My first thing. And my first thought was, this is really cool and nothing's going to go wrong. And all of a sudden, the film spliced.
Yeah.
And I thought, they're going to kill me.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. But
how do I get out of this, right? I was thinking like these little stories to tell and what should I make up? And I had no idea. I was scared. Finally, I remembered, you know what? Tell the truth.
Well,
just tell you know what? This is what I did. I told Miss Kelly what happened. She said, don't worry about it. Brother named Gus comes up wearing what we now call a hoodie.
Yeah.
He says, I'll have this fixed in 5 minutes. Done. I was shocked. Like, whoa, right? So I'm doing the film, and I noticed, if you remember, in 78, that year earlier, the Cowboys, 79, 78, it was 79 I was there, but 78, the Cowboys had played the New England Patriots. Remember Sam Bam Cunningham?
Yep.
They had that play. It was Brown right, what Brown forces where the tight ends on the right side, fullback by the quarterback, halfbacks on the weak side by a weak side tackle. All right. The Cowboys were in flex weak, but for inexplicably you got to simply flex weak to flex strong. As they were flexing, the ball was snapped, and John Hammond hit Randy White so freaking hard he froze.
Yeah.
And everybody's flowing into their gaps because the flex defense is basically his own defense against the run, right? Yep. So they're flowing the gaps. This hole just opens like a chasm. Shoo! Touchdown. And so Coach Stautner come in and goes, so what did you think? And I said, yeah, this is really interesting. You see, and I told him exactly that. I said, well, I think the way to stop it is to have pre-snap, have him angled between the center and the guard. He goes, hey, that's a good idea, right? Yep. So I got a thumbs up from her. Of all people, Ernie Stautner.
That
was a dream. I mean,
the first cowboy I ever got to meet was Drew Pearson.
Oh, what was he like?
This is 1977.
Yeah.
I got to meet Drew Pearson first, and then I got to meet Mr. Too Tall Jones. I'm like,
oh wow.
This guy's too huge. I mean, he was just 6'9", right?
Yeah.
And then I got to meet Randy White, Harvey Martin, and the rest of the Cowboys front guys, even though I was a smaller guy and I loved my DBs, right, Bill? Because what does safety amount to, Bill? The smartest man on a football field.
There you go.
We know. But again, Drew Pearson was the very first Cowboy I ever got to shake hands with, and then Roger Staubach came out afterwards. It was just like
Roger, class act. I met him when he had Jones Hill and Jones Hill LaSalle, I think it was at ICS.
Yep.
But you're talking about Ed Jones. And
y'all are crushing my meeting people right now. I hope I can meet as many people as y'all. That's incredible.
The first overall draft pick from an HBCU school.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Too Tall Jones.
Yep.
And not only that, as we talk about Ed Too Tall Jones, I have a little surprise for you. Provided that I can get this up in a timely fashion, and I'd be like, and there it is.
This is the one thing though I love about being a fan of a team that's only been since '96. Man, I don't have to go back as far. I go back to the Colts, but
there
is no black and white film for you, sir.
No, there is not.
Your team.
There he is.
Just purple and black.
There he is.
Hey.
That is Mr. Jones. And I said, Mr. Jones. And he goes, no, my name's Ed.
And here he is. Here's Ed Too Tall. This is 10 years ago plus at the Media Center of Super Bowl 50. Here's Ed Jones.
Head coach and fan of this man, is an honor to introduce you to legendary Ed Too Tall Jones. Mr. Jones, first of all, thank you for the time. Second, what was it like to learn and play in the flex defense, and what was it like to play under Coach Tom Landry?
Well, it's totally different from anything I'd ever experienced, but I loved it because watching it, growing up a Cowboy fan, I saw how successful they were. So, and also it has a lot to do with to make a difference when you have good teammates. Randy White, Harvey Martin, John Dutton, and also I had the opportunity to play with Doomsday One, Bob Lilly, Jethro Pugh, Larry Cole. Those guys took me under their wings when I first got there, helped me to learn and digest the system right away, and that made a big difference for me.
For those of you who don't know, the flex defense is like a zone defense against the run. How long did it take you to get used to just taking that hit, putting that shoulder down there and guarding that,
The most difficult thing about the flex, which is designed, like you said, to shut a team down, to gap a team where they cannot run if you play it well. But I had to be if it's strong side, a 4-point stance at 6'9".
Yeah.
2.5 yards off the ball, reading the offense. Now that I didn't like at first because that's something that was totally opposite what I had done in college.
Exactly.
But we were winning. I had to learn it and had to do it. And after, I saw where it was working. We were shutting people down. Then it grew on me and I loved it.
Hey, and your thoughts about the late Tom Landry?
Michigan. If I had to describe him with one word, I would say he's a genius. Because not only did he know offense, he knew defense, he knew special teams. He would program all the assistants, and they would program us. So that's hard to find nowadays. Most head coaches nowadays are PR guys. Also, I got to know him off the field. Coach Landry loved this place.
Yeah, he should. And thank you, folks. A story about my time with Ernie Starner is attached right here in this description. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was Ed Jones. That's classic.
So down.
So good for 7.
There you are.
And Too Tall Jones was such a sweet gentleman. There was nothing fake about Too Tall Jones whatsoever. Absolutely nothing. And the same applied to all of those Doomsday defense guys. Randy White, I'm like the manster. And he goes, no, I'm Randy. You don't need my nickname, right? He had stuff like that I'll never forget, right? Yeah, and but that's the master. He was the master because I saw that man get triple teamed more than anybody else in the NFL. Period. Triple teamed, and he was still getting after the quarterback.
Yep.
No,
I remember when he ran 49 yards. He was rushing Roger Jaworski, Eagles against Cowboys in Philadelphia. Wilbert Montgomery caught a swing pass.
Yep.
Randy White chased him and caught him 49 yards downfield. Now, mind you, he's going this way, right? He stopped, turned around, and he's just trucking down there. I thought, no, you got to be kidding me, man.
And who was the flex defense designed to stop, Jordan?
That one I don't know at the top of my head.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Because Coach Landry could not understand or stomach that one man was getting more yards than his people. It pissed him off.
and the flex defense was started because of James Brown, and they stopped Cleveland that year. Yep. And that flex defense was born, and that's where it came from.
Now, what killed the flex? Here's the magic question. In your opinion,
what killed the flex?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't hit anybody downfield anymore. So
Well, see, I thought what killed it was like the Rams and other teams just realizing, hey, look, we can drive block or play action
play action,
and then drive blocking.
I used to hate that. 2-minute warning flex defense. No, attack. Don't give up yards. Don't give up points. I don't like this. It drove me crazy.
Would you believe, Greg? Would you believe that Coach Landry at one point had this idea? It was in the Pro Football Weekly. I'll never forget it. Of having all 4 linemen off the line of scrimmage 2 yards. His logic was, hey, they all come to me, right? But I'm thinking, they'll blow you off the ball.
Right.
You're only off the ball, right?
but again, the CFL, you're 1 yard off.
Almost done.
Right. And with that 1 yard, that's where Landry came up with that idea of coming back 2 yards for the NFL guys. That's all it is. I mean, the CFL influenced that.
Absorbed it, yeah.
Well, that's it for us, folks. We are done. Thank you for a fantastic show. Bill, thank you for bringing these great gentlemen to our fold.
Oh, the pleasure's mine.
I wish I could have added more, but it predated me.
I'm happy I can just say I had Jesus in my house.
I'm the oldest guy at Team MBS Media because I'm 61. Mr. Bill is a little bit younger than me.
I'm 63.
Yeah. I remember you're 2 years old, almost 2 years older than me because I'll be 62 in December. So
all right, gentlemen, I'm going to close this out.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. That is
all right. Take care, guys.
Hey, thanks a lot, man. And you got it.